Hey guys, me Dave. It's 9/16/2022, so it's Friday night. I'm sitting there having a drink, trying to enjoy myself a little bit. It wasn't that great of a day. I've been getting it. Why I have no idea why I'm getting it so bad. Same old thing though. I'm not gonna go into it because it's the same old thing. What they do to me and stuff every day. It's the same thing every day. Other than that, I have to sneeze. Other than that, excuse me. Tanner's gone. He gets scared when I sneeze. I don't know why. Sorry, Tanner. Come here, Tanner butt. Anyway, so, come lay down, baby boy. So it's been summertime, of course, and now it's fall. So I haven't used my heat in my truck. And, guess what? I have no heat in my truck. I have no heat in my truck. The heater core went out. I can't fix it myself. I thought maybe I could fix it myself. You gotta take the whole dash off. I was watching videos on YouTube. You gotta take the whole top of the dash off. Get in there. It's just a pain to do. I don't have all the tools to do it anyway. So it's like a $400 or $500 job to replace a $44 part. My heater core went in my truck. So I have no heat, and winter's coming up in my truck. So which means I can deal with the cold. It just means I can't see out the windows because they'll be frosting up. So it's one thing after another, and then you're dealing with your targeting too. So, they have these little heaters that you can put on the dash. I don't know how good they work. It's supposed to frost windows and stuff. I'm gonna get one of those probably, and see how well it works. I don't know what else to do. I can't afford to put out more money for a car repair this year. I just can't do it. I owe $2,000 on this truck. It's going to be paid off in like May or June of next year. So then I'll have lots of money for car repairs, vet repair, vet bills and all the stuff, credit cards and everything else. So, and then if we get a big raise for Social Security, things are still high. Food, gas, everything is still, inflation is still out of control. So there's a good chance we could get a 9 or 10% raise this year, which is $100 extra a month or so. Some people would be getting over $100 a month raise for Social Security for January. That's going to come out next month in October. They're going to figure out, depending on what the economy is doing, inflation and everything else. So we could get a big raise in January. Could be 9 or 10%, or even more. Who knows? Depending on what, gas is still expensive. Food is so expensive. I know you can't find things at the grocery store. You can't find things at Walmart. From what they're saying on the news, they're saying that the product is available. It's sitting in warehouses right now. They don't have enough workers, you guys. Not enough truck drivers, not enough workers to move the product and all that stuff. That's what the problem is. They said the product is sitting in warehouses. Walmart owns their own trucks, and they have distribution centers all over the country where they store their product. In a warehouse, and then the truck driver goes there, picks up the product, brings it to the store and everything else. Well, there's not enough workers, there's not enough truck drivers, there's a shortage, so that's part of the problem. We have a grocery store here in town that dominates the market. It's called Super One Foods. They dominate the market. We do have a Cub Foods here in town, but they're looking for truck drivers all the time. They're looking for stocking people all the time. They're looking for all kinds of people. There's a shortage of workers, you guys. That's what a big problem is. It's not the FBI trying to take down the country. It's not the NWO coming to take down the country and all this stuff. It really is. There's a shortage of workers. That's really what the problem is. And the product is sitting in warehouses. They're making the product just like they were before. There's not a shortage of product, toilet paper and everything else. It's getting to the stores. That's the problem, and we rely on truck drivers. If it wasn't for truck drivers, we wouldn't have anything, you guys. We wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for these truck drivers. So anyway, sorry I'm not talking about targeting. Targeting, it's the same old thing every day. They try to put the fear of death in you. They try to put the fear in you. I've been threatening to go to the hospital for a while now. They're trying to scare me. If I go to the hospital, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm not going to get in trouble. If I call up 911, I'm going to get in trouble. Oh, I'm going to get arrested for filing a false police report. Well, I'm not filing a police report. I'm in distress. Send me an ambulance. They won't do it. They'll send me a cop to come take me down there. So I'm calling for legitimate medical reasons, and it's Havana syndrome, unexplained health attack, and that's what it is, and that's exactly how I'm going to talk about it. Now they're telling people not to talk about this stuff and all this stuff. I do think, they're only going to lock you up so many times, you guys, and then they're not going to want to lock you up anymore. Okay, they're only going to lock you up so many times. It could be 2 or 3 times. You'll be locked up, and then they don't want to lock you up anymore. It doesn't serve a purpose to keep on locking you up all the time. Okay, now eventually you're going to get to a point where you're going to talk about this and call it Havana syndrome, and say you're having an unexplained health attack. I'm having diarrhea 10 times a day, every single day. Well, why is that? I'm a victim of Havana syndrome. The State Department believes me. Why don't you believe me? And you falsely diagnosed me with a mental illness. Well, I did a questionnaire for the State Department, and they believe me. They believe me. So why don't you believe me? So we do have a little backer there to get our back, when we're talking about this stuff. The perps are still saying, don't talk about this, don't talk about this, don't talk about this. They don't want the complaints to come in. That's why they're telling you not to talk about this. If we have complaints coming in on regular citizens, and we might get locked up. That's the thing. We might get locked up. We're taking a chance there. But they're only going to lock you up so many times, and then they're not going to do it anymore. It doesn't make any sense to keep on locking you up. You get to a point where you can talk about this, and they're not going to lock you up. So, but the perps are like, oh, don't talk about this, don't mention this, just blah, 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 and all this stuff. And all this stuff. If you do get locked up, you have a right to refuse everything, you guys. Ask for your rights. That's something they didn't do until the end with me. They didn't give me my rights the second time, or the third time. They didn't give me my rights until the end. You have a right to refuse group activities. You have the right to refuse medications. You have the right to refuse any kind of program that is offered to you. Do you want to be that way? I don't know. You probably want to get out of there as fast as you can. So I would say go with the program. Myself, I was being tortured in there. And I went with the program. So sometimes it doesn't matter if you go with the program. If you don't go with the program, you're going to get tortured either way. Just like when you get out, you can take your medications, you can not take your medications, you can go with the program, you cannot go with the program. It's really a lose-lose situation. They're still going to torture you, but not as bad. Not as bad if you take your medications, okay? Now, if you do have to take medications, make sure it's the lowest dose possible. I take 1 milligram in the morning of Risperidone, 1 milligram at night. It's like not taking anything. I can't tell the difference either way, and all this stuff. So my medication is like not taking anything. They'll see you have a shrink. They'll have you see a shrink for a little bit and all this stuff, and soon that'll wear off. People don't want to be a part of this. Is what I'm saying. The hospitals don't want to keep on being a part of this. They're not going to be locking you up 20 times and the hospital be involved in all this stuff. These shrinks are not going to want to be doing unethical things, and they know you don't have mental illness, and they're pretending you have mental illness and all this stuff, and taking medications and blah, blah, blah. They're not going to keep on playing the game, is what I'm saying. It's going to wear off in a while. I don't see anybody anymore. I go to a nurse practitioner. I don't see a shrink. I don't see anybody anymore. I'm my own person, except they're torturing me, trying to send me to the hospital, and I'll probably end up there one of these days. I'll probably end up in the hospital again one of these days, and I will talk about this. I'll just come out and say it. I'm saying, I'm having diarrhea 10, 12 times a day, and I think it's Havana syndrome. What are they gonna do? Lock me up? They gonna lock me up for that? They ain't gonna lock me up for that. I'll be like, hey, I think it's Havana syndrome, and that's my opinion. And I think it's an unexplained health attack. And that's what I think it is. And if you say it like that, it's very hard and difficult for them to lock you up. When you're not being a threat to yourself or others, it's very hard for them to lock you up. In just saying that. They'll put that in the nurse's notes, doctor's notes and all this stuff, and they'll send you on your way. Are you going to get locked up for 48 hours? I doubt it. I very doubt it. So the perps don't want you to talk about this stuff, because if the complaints and the complaints and the complaints keep rolling in, they're going to have a problem. That's why the perps are like, oh, don't talk about this, don't talk about this, oh, don't tell anybody, oh, don't talk about this ever. Well, we do have backup. Havana syndrome is a real thing, and it's been proven by professionals, experts, and it's a real thing. My battery's dying. I gotta cut this off. So that's what I'm talking about tonight. Anyway, you guys have a drink or something and enjoy yourself, and I hope you guys doing well. Let's get through this somehow, and I'll talk to you guys later.